Hi, this weekend I watched Zulu Dawn, the 1979 prequel to the 1964 classic true war film Zulu. It's the story of the build-up and fighting of the Battle of Isandlwana, a major conflict in the Anglo-Zulu War of 1879, and it's very much a story of British imperialism, of arrogant white supremacy. The conflict was based around the British settlers' belief that they had a right to invade the neighbouring kingdom of Zululand, and under the perceived claim of potential threat from the supposed barbarians who lived there, an invasion was perpetrated, which ended in the brutal battle, which saw the British forces absolutely massacred, and was followed by the infamous Battle of Rorke's Drift, depicted in the original 1964 film, where 79 British soldiers held off an army of tens of thousands of Zulus. This is the closest you get to an authorized prequel. It's written and I think co-created by Cy Enfield, who directed the first film, and it has the same producers, but it has none of the original cast. Instead, we have a glittering all-star cast: Peter O'Toole, Denholm Elliott, Simon Ward, Bob Hoskins, John Mills, Ronald Lacey, many great actors of the day, although there were very few female parts. And it's a fascinating story of army life at the time. We see little snippets of behaviour in the various ranks, the arrogance of the top classes who believe they have a moral right to assert their authority over the less primitive but equally civilized Zulus in the neighbouring country. Peter O'Toole as Lord Chelmsford is cold and rather brutal, I felt. I noticed in one scene that he has a full iron bedstead in his tent out in the field, that they've carried this thing with him because he believes he just has the right to it as he is a superior Englishman. Bob Hoskins in an early role I thought was superb. It was this that got him spotted to then play the lead in The Long Good Friday, as he plays the tough colour sergeant who can be by turns very authoritarian and harsh, but also supportive when his men need it. It's a really interesting and engaging story. I'd say it's not quite the equal of the original, but it's far better than you would expect. It's very well written, I think very sympathetic with the original film, thanks to Enfield's involvement. It has an absolute perception of the evil of the concept of manifest destiny so common in America in its settler years. And I think it almost bears some comparison with Vietnam, where you have the supposedly far more civilizing Western force being completely routed by a local, far more primitive force because they simply have the will and the geographical knowledge and the understanding of what's at stake. It's a really good film, really finely made, cleverly crafted, and I think it shows that the lessons of Isandlwana were never really properly learned. They simply blame other factors, I think, for the failure of their mission, and ultimately the Anglo-Zulu War bent in the British favour because they simply overwhelmed the Zulus. But this is a fine story. It's a good companion piece to the original film, and I'd recommend it.